According to a recent study, 50% of teenagers say they feel like they are actually addicted to their devices. Social media, apps, the world is at our fingertips, literally. So how do we teach our teens how to use this very powerful device wisely? Our friend, parent, and youth expert Jonathan McKee is here with some tips from his new book, The Teen's Guide to Social Media and Mobile Devices. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
So is the phone an evil entity of itself?
No.
Should we be afraid of our phones?
I don't think so. I mean, you've got one, I've got one. It got me here today. I mean, we use the navigation, we use everything. You know, it's a great tool to help us connect with people outside the room. Sadly, sometimes it interferes with our relationship with the people inside the room. So we need to teach our kids how to use it.
So the motivation for this book is?
You know, it's to help our kids learn how to post wisely in an insecure world. It's to help them think before they hit that send button. It's also just a conversation piece. The reason I throw in discussion questions at the end of each chapter is, instead of just handing your kid the book, what a great book to sit down and have breakfast and start engaging in meaningful conversation about the stuff that matters. Because let's be honest, this thing is now like the centerpiece of their life. And their self-esteem is almost based on this device. And we as parents need to be in there talking with them about this.
I've said to you that this is the book that I'm going to give Ethan on his 13th birthday.
Absolutely.
Because I think social media, you can't hide it from your kids forever, right? And he's 11 years old, already asking questions about if he can be on this, social media app or whatever, and all of these different things. What is the #1 piece of advice that you give parents like myself who have kids that are embarking on this whole world literally at their fingertips?
It's what we keep talking about. It's engaging them in conversations because we live in a world now where the average kid gets their smartphone at 10.3 years old. And even those who don't have smartphones, I'm guessing if I push back on the Ethan thing, he probably has a device that might not be the phone, but it might have all that other stuff. And so as parents, we need to be aware of, hey, if he's got this device that does all these other things, usually that's where they get in trouble. They aren't getting in trouble because they're calling people, It's because of all the apps and all they're downloading. So as moms and dads, we need to start having these conversations because even 10-year-olds are making these decisions about who they're friending and whether, and they don't know better of when they post this picture from their bedroom of something they like, of whether they had their location posted or not. And that's where some, especially young girls, are getting in trouble because guys now know where they live and the pictures they're posting, mom and dad have no idea what they're posting. So we need to start having these conversations.
The magic age is 13. Why 13?
Well, 13 because of COPA, the Child's Online Privacy Protection Act. That's the FTC. So, in America, they've really slammed down with that. Hey, and it's funny, if the government's even saying kids shouldn't be on social media till they're 13. And so Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, you got to be 13 years old to be on those, which is really nice because when our kid comes up and goes, Mom, can I have Snapchat? And they're 11, we can say, I'm sorry, it's the law.
I've literally said that.
That's good. You got
sorry, it's the law.
That's right. Jonathan says. No, but it's one of those things where the government even realizes you can't have an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old making decisions about who they're friending. And most kids I talk to, when it comes to something like Snapchat, which can get them in trouble, there's this new Snap Maps, and it's really cool. You pinch the screen, and you can see where all your friends are. Well, sometimes they haven't met every one of those friends, and again, it's one of those scary things where they think they're talking to some 18-year-old they met from Huntington Beach, and they don't realize it's that 44-year-old naked pedophile in Cleveland, and this is scary stuff.
Oh, there's so much to talk about. I love what you say on page 12 when you talk about making rules, but having open communication, no secrets, and starting with rigid guidelines and then loosening them as you get older. You said that in many of your books, that you start off, you have to tighten down on things, like I was saying with Ethan. We have our rules and regulations. As they get older, that loosens, but also creating, again, communication. That's one thing that I love that you talk about in so many of your books, Jonathan. Communication is key with our kids.
It is, and that's why in the intro to this book, what you're quoting is from that, that mom and grandma are the ones who buy this book.
Yes.
They're like, oh, here you go, son, here you go. And so I have this, hey, to the person buying the book, and that's in page 12, there's this intro saying, since I know you already bought this book for your kid, here's a couple of the main questions that moms and dads and caring grandparents and aunts and uncles are asking, and talking to them a little bit so they get that big picture and realize it's okay to tell your 12-year-old, no, No, you're not going to get Snapchat. It's okay to be stringent like that, but we also need to keep our eyes on the calendar, and we need to realize that, come senior year, all of a sudden they're going to be gone. They're going to be in a army barracks, a dorm across the country, and they're not going to call us up and say, "Hey, can I have Musical.ly?" They're going to make that decision on their own, and the question is, have we prepared them for that day?
All right, well, we are going to prepare our parents that are watching. We're going to come back, and then we're going to deal with some of the tips that Jonathan has in his new book, The Teen's Guide to Social Media and Mobile Devices. Stay with us. We'll be right back.